Alright, let's break down the economics of organ trafficking. This is a $1 billion underground industry that operates in every single continent, and today I'm going to be analyzing it like any other business. But first, before we go in, we need to understand what organ trafficking is. So organ trafficking is the illegal trade of human organs for transplantation. It involves recruitment, transport, exploitation of individuals, often from poor communities, who either sell their organs under coercion or false pretense, or in some cases have their organs removed even without their consent. The trafficked organs are then sold to desperate patients willing to pay large sums of money to bypass the legal transplant waiting list. It is a crime that exploits both the desperation of the poor and the desperation of the rich but sick. And yes, I know by now you might have noticed that the color shading of the video is like a video from the 1990s, and I have a legit reason. If I actually post it like the way I recorded it, most of you are going to even click off before you hear what I have to say, because trust me, the quality is really bad. So pardon me for that, and until I get monetized, we have to manage this for now. So please pardon me, okay? And if you want to help me speed up that process, you know what to do. Just like the video, subscribe, and just leave a comment anything. Let's get back to the video. Now let's break down the economics. The organ trafficking markets generates between 1 and 1.5 billion dollars annually. 1.5 billion dollars annually, and it exists only because of one single economic principle, and you might have guessed it by now: demand and supply. Here's the demand side. Right now, over 100,000 people in the United States alone are on waiting lists for organ transplants: kidneys, livers, lungs. The waiting time can be insane, up to 5 to 10 years. That desperation creates a market. Now, the supply side. In countries with high poverty rates, people are willing to sell their organs for cash: a kidney, a part of their liver, whatever keeps them alive but can be removed. And between that desperate demand and that desperate supply sits an entire criminal industry. Now, let's break down the business model. The supply chain starts in developing countries like India, Pakistan, the Philippines, parts of Eastern Europe and South America, even Africa. Traffickers identify poor individuals who need money: factory workers, farmers, people in debt, and they make them an offer: sell us your kidney and we'll pay you like $5,000 to $10,000. For someone making $2 a day, that's life-changing money for them. I mean, we can all agree poverty rates are crazy these days. They are then taken to a clinic, sometimes legitimate, sometimes not. The kidney is removed and they are sent home with a fraction of what they were promised, maybe like $2,000, $5,000, even sometimes $500, and then the broker keeps the rest of the money. Now, the kidney enters the distribution network. It is transported to a buyer, and here's where the economics gets extreme. The kidney that cost the trafficker like $5,000 sells for $150,000 to $200,000 on the black market. Let's do the maths. Acquisition cost is $5,000, transportation and medical cost maybe like $20,000, and then the sale price is $200,000. That's a profit margin of over 80%, and that's per organ for one single organ. Traffickers moving multiple organs per month are generating millions in dollars. Now, who is buying? The customer base can be broken down into 3 categories. 1. Wealthy individuals from countries with long transplant list. 2. Medical tourists traveling to countries with less strict regulations. And 3. Critically ill patients who have been denied transplantation through legal channels. Now, the transaction happens in one of 2 ways: direct payment and transplantation tourism. I'll explain. For the direct payments, this means that a broker arranges everything. He finds a donor, arranges surgery in a private clinic, delivers the organ, the buyer pays the broker pays the surgeon and the middleman. Everyone gets their share except the donor. Now, let's move to the transplant tourism. This is more common because the buyer travels to a country where organ sales are poorly regulated, countries like Pakistan, India, China. They check into a hospital. The organ is already waiting there. Surgery happens, they recover and fly back home. The hospital gets paid, the broker gets paid, and guess what? The government looks the other way. Now, let's talk about the major players. At the top, you have organized crime networks. These are groups that control trafficking routes from procurements to sale. They have connections with corrupt medical professionals, access to surgical facilities, and network of recruiters who are finding donors. Now, below these people are the brokers, or in other words, the middlemen. And now the middlemen are the people who connect the buyers and the sellers. They operate online on encrypted messaging apps. And through medical tourism agencies, they advertise transplantation with no waiting list, guaranteed matches, or even discreet services. Then below them we have the corrupt medical professionals. These are surgeons who perform transplantations, doctors who falsify paperwork, lab techs who match organs. They are paid extremely well. A surgeon might make 50 to 100,000 per operation, more than they make in a year through legal practice. And now at the bottom we have the recruiters. These are people who actually go into the market to find the donors, people who are willing to donate their kidneys for those low amounts. They target communities with debt-ridden individuals, refugees. They promise them a better life, and they deliver victims to the traffickers. Now, the cost and risk, let's talk about that. For the traffickers, the major costs are the medical. You need surgical facilities, anesthesia, post-op care, anti-rejection drugs, and that runs $20,000 to $30,000 per operation. Now, transportation is another cost. Moving organs quickly across borders, bribes to customs officials, fake medical documents. The risks are legal. Organ trafficking is illegal in almost every country. Penalties range from 10 years to life in prison, but enforcement is weak. Prosecutions are rare, and the profit margins are so high that traffickers consider it worth the risk. For the donors, the risks are extreme. Many suffer like complications, infections, kidney failure, chronic pain and diseases, and they have no legal recourse. They can't report the crime without admitting that they sold their organs illegally, so they suffer in silence. Now, for the buyers, there are medical risks. Black market organs aren't screened properly. Diseases can be transmitted, hepatitis, HIV. Organ rejection rates are high, and if complications arise, they can't explain to their home doctors how they got a new kidney without a legal transplant. Now, law enforcement is trying to crack down. Interpol has task forces, the World Health Organization has issued guidelines, countries are strengthening laws, but the industry adapts. Traffickers move to new countries, use encrypted communication, operate through medical tourism fronts, and here is the problem. As long as there is a shortage of legal organs, the black market will always exist, and the waiting lists aren't getting shorter. Demand keeps growing and poverty isn't going away, so the supply of desperate donors continues. Some countries have tried to solve this problem through legal organ markets. Iran, for example, allows regulated kidney sales. Donors are compensated, buyers pay the government, and it eliminates their transplants waiting list. But most countries reject this on ethical grounds. So the underground market thrives. $1 to $1.5 billion per year, built on desperation on both sides. Donors who need money, recipients who need organs, and traffickers who profit from both. I call them the masterminds. If this breakdown was insightful, let me know in the comments below. And if you want more economic breakdowns of underground industries like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one.